Good morning, Yankees. I hope you are well. Today's video is to choose your own adventure, my take. I didn't want to miss another month, and I know that the month is coming to an end, so I need to get my version of the choose your own adventure. Look at the fatty cake on this, man. It is ridiculous. I feel like I'm going to be creating on a hump, but that's okay. So I'm gonna get my choose your own adventure out of the way now so I can get it done. I'm in the middle of filming your studio vlog as well, so there's footage all over the place. So I've got my watercolors here. The colors were pink, blue, and purple. So I'm literally just gonna work out of this palette because it's my happy place. So I've got 3 blues down here. I have a purple here. I can probably pull off Moonglow as a purple. Obviously I got Opera Pink and like the Quin Magenta, I think it is. Quin Lilac. I don't know. I've also got the Wisteria. So yeah, there's enough colors in here for the palette. So they're the 3 colors. The forest element is in there. And also the word moody. So I've got my paintbrushes ready to go. I'm going to be drawing an initial sketch. I've already started my sketch, and that's because I am doing the intro halfway through because I was talking to my mum when I sat down to start my picture. So I couldn't do my chatty intro because I was talking to my mum at the same time, just checking on dad and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I have already started my sketch, so I'm not going to show you, but I was going to put it on here, but I know that there's photographs and things on here, and I didn't want them to get warped with the watercolor because if it's an all watercolor thing, I just know it won't happen. So I've actually gone back to a page that already had stuff on it and just added my drawing to that because I want to start getting these pages filled from start to finish, whether it be drawing stuff. A lot of writing needs to happen. I do need to have a writing marathon. All the little sections that have just got no writing in them, they're starting to irk me. So I do really need to go and get that done. But so the quote is moody. I haven't worked out what I want to do for moody yet, but I know that the creature that I'm drawing is quite moody looking, but I still want to get some form of quote in there. That's my favorite bit, is finding the right quotes. So let's get started. I know everyone's going to want this in collage sheets, I can already tell, but I think it'll just be too hard. It's on a double page spread. It's right near the back of the book. It's going to be too hard to do. So I don't know. We'll see. I am pretty magical. I'm pretty magical when it comes to scanning and stuff, but there is quite a significant hump, and I don't want to tear out the page in order to scan it. So we shall see. I could photograph it, but I just know. I know you guys. I know when something hits a chord, and this, I've already only done a sketch for this so far, and I know that it will do just that. It's got that feel already, and I've not even painted it. I may paint it and ruin it, so you may disregard this if it's crap. So let's get started, shall we?
You had me at hello, 'cause where you go is where I go. I don't need nobody else. I got you, and you got me too. You came right out of the blue. I wanna do what you want to. We can leave and run away someday, someday. I've been saving you, and you save me too. Yeah, I need it, don't you need me too? 'Cause I need you. I can take you anywhere, somewhere we won't be scared.
You will see me flying high. I'm staring into your blue eyes. We don't need nobody else. I got you, and you got me too. I've been saving you, and you save me too. Yeah, I need it. Don't you need me too? 'Cause I need you. Yeah, so call me anytime that you need a favor. Call me anytime I can come and save you. Oh, oh. Call me anytime that you need a friend, and call me.
So I've done my initial sketchness. I've done enough for me to be happy. And then obviously I've got a journal box here. So these guys, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I just knew that I wanted to use a page that was blank and, you know, not going to get affected too much by watercolor. So I was pretty okay with doing it here. So I've got my paintbrushes all ready to go. I don't have my cloth. Where is, I've got my pink one here, but where's Old Faithful? No, the grubby one. Oh well, I'll just use the pink one for now. Old Faithful must be somewhere else. Oh, I can see it. It's on the other side of the table. I'm too lazy to go get that. So, pinks, blues and purples. I'm trying to decide whether I want to shade this space in purples and blues and maybe put pinks behind it. I'm not sure yet. I know that the trees don't look quite right, and I know that. I kind of just drew them in to get sort of an idea. So I will probably come in at the end with a bit of pencil as a topper, but the majority of it will be watercolor. I may also line some items, not too sure, but you'll see as I move forward. So without further ado, I think it's time to speed this video up, and I'm gonna pull off some jewelry here so that I don't get stuck. If you've noticed, I've been either wearing my wedding ring on my pointer finger or not wearing it at all. There's nothing wrong with me and John. My fingers are really cold and they've shrunk down heaps. My rings were already loose beforehand, but with winter and my hands shrinking, they are just, I'm petrified of just flicking my hands and losing my rings. So at the moment, they're not even on my hands because my hands are freezing and I don't want to lose my wedding rings. I really need to go get them resized. It drives me nuts that they're not on my hand right now, but the fear of losing them is bigger than the nut driving. Oh, that sounds awful. Okay, I'm gonna shut up and keep going. So let's get started and start painting this beauty. I've got my little portable palette on the side of me and I am just mixing up a few different shades to get what I feel. I did create a color that I really liked that I will probably put in the notes down below or even in a blog post. It's that Quin Lilac, the Moon Glow and the Wisteria mixed up together, and it made a really beautiful sort of plummy purple color. And I'm just trying to just get the shades right, get in there. I'm using my Escoda travel brush in the size 6, I believe. It's either 6 or the 4. I'm pretty sure it's the 6 by the look of the tip on that. And I'm going straight in. I decided to do her in purples and blues and such, and just adding base layer washes, not getting too into it, but totally just getting into those normal shadowy places that you see me do every single time. There's no difference. It's a lot of the same thing with shading faces and stuff. It's just how wishy-washy you want to be, how tight you want to be with how you do it. But I wanted this piece to be very loose and very emotive, especially with watercolor, and just enjoying the process and having some fun.
This morning has so clear a light as any to see the horizon in the far. Excuse
Because I know that I'm going to come in with some pens and some pencils and that sort of thing at the end, just to sort of tighten up. I'm being very loose with my paint strokes. I'm not sort of worrying about keeping in the lines. I'm just getting that base color down and experimenting and dropping in other colors into those wet areas just to get a little bit of mottledness and make it a little bit more visually interesting. So I'm using indigo there on the leaves, and I'm pretty sure I drop in either the Quin Lilac or the Opera Pink into some of those leaves just to give them a little bit of difference, something that you wouldn't expect, and to give the picture more depth. So if you're painting, drop some other colors into your little details to give them another dimension that you wouldn't normally get with some flat color. Yes, I'm going to go back in with the line work, but I wanted to have some of those, you know, special little hints of different colors that make them a little bit different. Now I've watered down my Opera Pink to sort of add into the background with a little bit of moon glow mixed in there, just to sort of lay some color down because it was looking very stark and white, and then I accidentally put that Quin Lilac in there, and now I'm trying to water that down as well. But I'm just sort of feeling my way. I didn't know exactly how I was going to do this, but I'm really enjoying just feeling my way and totally getting lost in painting. It's been a while since I've done some actual watercolor like this, so it was nice to just take the time and just enjoy. I do try and keep out of those wet areas, but you can see there I'm just lifting it off and putting that excess moisture onto my cloth so that I can help pull up that other color that bled in. So as you can see, I'm keeping away from those wet areas because I don't want any bleeding unless I say so, basically.
Something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow. There's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today. It's a good day today. It's a good day to live. You want to leave this place where we grew up, this old town, just put it all behind. Remember you and I would always find somewhere to hide when we were kids, so we could see and hear the water run. The river's gonna cry when you're gone.
Now, because I didn't want to do a forest, so to say, like drawing all the trees, I went with a abstract representation of a forest in the background of my girl. Because I didn't want to spend a whole heap of time drawing trees. I've already done like a foresty look with one of our previous prompts, so I didn't want to sort of do the same sort of thing with creatures and the trees and stuff like that. But I really like how this went. I just sort of indicated tree branches in like shadows and darker shades and lighter shades, trying to give you the illusion of lots of trees in the background. background. Whether I achieve that or not, I'll never know, but I liked how it turned out and it was something different. I'm just adding some Moon Glow, really watered down, a little bit of indigo there for my journaling spot, and I do add a few other shades, and then paint the Quinn Lilac in the leaves, just because I know I'm going to have some journaling there, and I'm pretty happy with how this goes. There is a little bit more of detail to go with the pencils and stuff like that, but so far so good. I'm actually enjoying how this is looking. At first I was like, this is going to turn out like a train wreck, but I got there in the end with the perseverance and just relaxing. That's the key when I make these pages. I need to relax and forget that the camera is rolling, so I can just ease into it and forget that there's, 400 of you watching me. Now I sort of want to wait for this to dry, and then I'm going to come in with a couple of pencils just to sort of tighten up some of the things that's happening here, because this section here needs more detail and I don't want to try and hand paint it with a fine liner. Being left-handed, trying to get in there, it's just not going to happen. So I'll probably come in with some pens and maybe some pencils also to sort of fix up some of the sketchy looking trees and stuff. It's very what's the word, loose, and I wanted that. That was the feel. I didn't want everything to be tightly illustrated. I want it to be very loose and very emotive, because of the sort of the way that I've sketched her, and come in with a white pen for some little highlights and stuff like that. So you'll see all the little finishing touches as I go along. But I'm really loving the mixture of Moon Glow, the Quinn Lilac, and the Wisteria. Is it Wisteria? Yeah. These three colors make that really beautiful plum shade. So I need to write that down somewhere, because I really like how that looks. And so I can see me using that colorway quite a lot. Grabbed the bits and pieces that I want to use. Now I'm staying within the color palette so that I'm not bending the rules too much, but this is just like an end stage since most of it's colored pencil. So I've got my Jane pencils in the colors Kiss Kiss and Pixie, Feather, and 70s eyeshadow. So I have those four, and I also have a Derwent Inktense in the color Lagoon. I also have the Museum Caran d'Ache pencil in, they don't have shade names. Oh, didn't even know that. I guess it's 3510149. So there's that one. And then I have a couple of Copic multiliners in the purple and the pink, and the blue in a couple of the sizes, white gel pen, and then a pink biro. I don't think I'll use the pink biro. And I'll also probably pull in my lead pencil as well. So yeah, that is what I'm going to be doing. I've kind of just heat gunned it a little bit so that I don't get paint halfway up my arm. I'll keep my watercolors handy just in case there's sections that I want to reshade and stuff like that. But yeah, let's start getting things lined up. So some of these leaves and stuff I would want to, do I not have a 0.1 in the navy pen currently anywhere? Doesn't look like it. No, well, I guess I'll use the 0.5 and do some of the leaf line work that I could never achieve with watercolor without like a full-blown adult tantrum.
Stop what you're doing and wait for your thoughts to come around. Don't
So I'm coming in with my coloured pencils that I talked about previously. These are the Jane Davenport Magic Wands and a couple of the other Rogue pencils. It is the next day. I had to go pick up my teacup humans, and then I had to do the whole afternoon routine and all that sort of jazz. So I thought I'd just pick up, let it dry naturally, and pick up the next day. And I'm just adding the details into the face with a mixture of the watercolour pencil with the Karan Diash one there. And that is in like an indigo colour. So that was a really nice sort of shady colour, and it gives me a little bit more control. It's still a watercolour, so I'm okay with using that. And obviously it's just coming in with and deepening those colours. I felt like it needed some extra oomph. A lot of the colours were just sort of flat and sort of just mixing into each other, so I wanted to make sure that I came in and added some more depth to some of the stuff that was just sort of wishy-washy. And layering in watercolor is my favorite thing to do. It can just make something, an illustration, pop so much when you rework it and add some more depth into it. I mean, you can watercolor it once and then leave it, but if you come back the next day and add a bit more shadowing into those areas, just add little bits and pieces, it can really take your illustration to the next level. And I find that the more I work on something, I can sometimes overwork it, yes, but the more I give it some time and a little bit of like a little bit more shadow, a little more detail, my illustration looks completely different. And I find that from this stage here, just adding in like the bandit eyes that I love to do, just gives her a bit more mystery. And I just really like how she ended up looking once I was done fiddling with the face.
Remember me, I remember you. I've been thinking about you more than ever. I guess I'm lonely, I'm starting to grow old, and I thought my youth would last forever. Take me back to when we were kids and didn't care if we were acting stupid, 'cause all we had was us. If I close my eyes and think about us, I can see the person I know I should be. 'Cause honestly, I don't have no time to waste. I'm trying to come back to you, because now I see we were meant to be. Just tell me where and I'll come see ya. 'Cause I'm afraid that I'll end up here alone. Hope you'll understand how much I need ya. Take me back to when we were kids and didn't care if we were acting stupid, 'cause all we had was us. If I close my eyes and think about us, I can see the person I know I should be. 'Cause honestly, I don't have no time to waste. I'm trying to come back to you, because now I see we were meant to be. And didn't care if we were acting stupid, 'cause all we had was us. If I close my eyes and think about us.
All right, I just have my journaling to do, and I'll probably do some like little fussy line work on the side, but that's just to add stuff to this side. not for the prompt. I really like the look of the stars over her face, so I tipped in a piece of acetate that I had lying around with gold stars on it. I did have a piece of acetate on this side as well at first, but I decided it looked a bit too much with the 2 sets of stars on either side. I wish I'd had a whole A5 piece, and I probably did, and I cut it down. So instead of having the acetate, I had acetate here as well, but I think it was just too much in the end, so I pulled that away. And this is the quote that I went with. It was just a quote that I saw on Pinterest, and I actually had it glued into this section in my journal right here, and so I pulled it out of that section and cut it up and put it here because I love what it says, and it reminds me of John because he deals with my whirlwind quite a lot. And so I think I'm pretty much done. I'll probably do some journaling here, put in my lines, all wonky. Oh, that one's, let's get one in there. This is probably making everyone like twitchy, but that's okay. We can just go with the flow. And I'll probably either tip in a photograph or something up here, or on the side, or I'll print this picture smaller so that it can be like sat around in here. But that is it. That's all I want to do for today. I probably could sit here for another 2 hours just fidgeting with it and like playing with it and adding to it. But I don't want to do that sort of thing forever and a day. And I have lots of other content that I need to be filming right now. Actually, maybe I'll just put that there, tip it in there, and then put something on the back side. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Anyway, that's all for today. I hope you've enjoyed my take on this month's Choose Your Own Adventure. I guess if need be, I could essentially scan this page only. If wanted to, let me know. We'll see how it goes. Although it may be a pain in the butt in the scanner, I'm not sure. So I'm not going to make any promises, but if I can, and if you want it, I can probably put her in there with no issues. And I think I'll probably add some like little like berry ones, those berry twig things around here. I was going to do that, but I wasn't sure if I liked how it looked, but I think I want some. Just to add some little bits of dimension. But anyway, that is it. Have a wonderful day, and I shall talk to you very, very soon. Bye.